Okay, so here we are on the inside, checking it out. Really like this red. It's not overdone, it's well placed and just looks great to me. Okay, so I'm 6 feet tall. I have the seat all the way back, all the way down, and it's a little bit too far back for me. So there's plenty of room in this truck. Okay, so looking at the steering wheel, it's a heated leather steering wheel with a smooth portion here at the bottom and at the top with the red stitching and the perforations on either side. Looking pretty nice. It's soft to the touch as well. Very comfortable, good thickness, just a really good feeling steering wheel. So on the back of the steering wheel, if you're not familiar with the Chrysler products, it has a volume for the radio back here. So on the right side is the volume, has a center button which cycles through your audio source, so like AM, FM, satellite radio, that kind of thing, USB. On the left side has 3 buttons, like a toggle and a center button. Up and down is changed through your tracks on your CD, radio station, media tracks or whatever, up and down. And the center button is for your presets on your radio only. On the right side is your cruise control here. So you turn it on, set it, cancel and resume. Down here is your upper limit to your gear ratio. So if you need to limit that, in other words, downshift, you can use these buttons here to do that. Bluetooth controls here for your phone. You answer, hang up, and then you also have a very advanced voice recognition system. And these buttons here correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. Turn signal and windshield wiper controls are here. Okay, so look at these gauges. Let's see if I can get you a shot without all kinds of glare here. With my eyes, they look fine, but of course the camera makes everything look more glare than what it is. Okay, so let's look here on the right side first, I guess. Okay, so on the right side is your speedometer with your fuel gauge, and it has that red dial around the outside and the Rebel name there in the top center, looking good. On the left side is your RPMs and your engine coolant temperature. Now here in the center portion, this is all digital, below that red Rebel. So you have these little windows here. These are customizable, all 4 of them. Then you have a center screen. So right now it's showing a digital compass on the top left. On the top right is the outside temperature, which is a little bit skewed because it's hot out there, but it's not quite that hot. I guess because we're sitting still and the engine's heating up the sensor. And then the battery voltage and your oil pressure there. Now that's all customizable. You can change that information if you'd like, and I'll show you in the settings where you can do that. So right now you see a big digital speedometer. I really like the font that they use on these numbers. They look great. And what gear you're in on the right and left side. So on the right shows your range. On the left side is your menu. So that portion on the right side, you can change that as well. So using these buttons here, we're going to cycle through. We're going to go down. Right now it's the digital speedometer. We go down, you notice it's part of a menu system. So number 1 is speedometer, number 2 is vehicle info. Now you can see those arrows to the right and left. It starts off with the tire pressure. Scrolling to the right, we can get more temperatures and pressures. Gauge summary as well. Then it goes to your engine hours, and then it goes back to your tire pressure. Scrolling down again, we go into fuel economy, which is resettable. Then you have an average, a real time, and a range. Scrolling to the right will give you a second one to reset, so that way you can reset them independently. Trip info, this will give you have an A and a B. You can reset those independently as well. It gives you a distance, average miles per gallon, and a time that has elapsed. You notice the digital speedometer is still visible, just smaller at the top. Scrolling down again is your whatever your radio is doing, basically. Scrolling down again, it will be stored messages and screen setup. This is where you can go in and change the different portions of the screen to set it up the way you want. Scrolling down again goes back to your digital speedometer. So that's kind of a quick rundown of what the screen looks like and what it does. A lot of useful features there. You don't have to go in there all the time, it's just there in case you need it. There's your start button. Here's your shifter. This is pretty interesting. It's a dial shifter. You have your four-wheel drive controls here as well. As simple as pushing a button, so it's in two-wheel drive. You have four-wheel drive high and four-wheel drive low, as well as a neutral for flat towing or moving the vehicle without it being in gear. And four-wheel drive low, you're able to, once you enable that, you're able to go enable your downhill descent and your axle lock. So this is electronic axle lock, basically the differential lock, and then that way you can get better traction. Now this is for slow driving. It's going to disable after you go over, I think, 25 miles an hour. It'll disable it, and then once you go back below 25 miles an hour, it'll re-enable the axle lock, the differential lock in the back of the vehicle. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse so you can see what the backup camera looks like. And I don't know if my camera is doing this camera justice, because it looks really good. It's very clear. The colors look great. It's a wide angle view, so you have a little bit of distortion, but you have the active guidelines that you can turn off if you like, but they help out with backing up. You can also push this plus button here and get a closer up shot of backing up to a trailer. But you can already see the bumper all the way to the sky and all around as well. And since the camera is in the very center position, this line is the center of your truck, which is nice. So this helps out again with backing up to a trailer, or just in general backing up. There's neutral, and then there's your drive. And of course you can downshift by using these buttons, remember? Okay, so here at the very top it has the RAM, and it's kind of like a metallic paint. It looks really nice. And there's a storage pocket up here with a 12-volt power supply with a key on it, letting you know that it turns on and off with the key, the ignition system. There's your touch screen, has some gloss black around it. Okay, so the touch screen has these icons here at the very bottom. First one is your radio. That's the one we're in now. It has your presets at the top, AM, FM, and satellite radio. You can go in here and adjust the audio if you like. I like this, where you can just grab it and move it around wherever you want, and push the center button to put it back in place. Media, so you have a CD player, USB, two USBs, an auxiliary, and a Bluetooth inputs here. Climate control, you have driver and passenger temperatures, your fan speed, recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters, all this stuff here. You can also sync the driver and passenger temperatures if you like. You can unsync it simply by adjusting the passenger side, or push the sync button again. And where you want the air to blow is here in the center. And then you have a shortcut to this right here. This will take you to the controls, which we'll get to in just a minute. That's just a shortcut to go to this button. Let's go to the apps next. You notice all the icons at the bottom stay put, and then that way you can always go back and forth between screens easily. So you have your travel link, driver and passenger heated seats. You can projection manager. This is for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto setup. You can set those up on the system. You can create a Wi-Fi hotspot. You can look at the backup camera without being in reverse. That's nice. Heated steering wheel controls. You can go into App Manager and the Uconnect system and choose what apps you'd like. You turn on or off your powered rear, the dimmer on your power window, power rear view mirror, sorry. You can go into your media, all this stuff. There's a lot of redundancy here, but it's all here in case you want to use it. Now, basically what it is. Let's say we have navigation here, but we want to put travel link there. Let's just press and hold it. We can drag it over and we can replace navigation with travel link on this main bar down here. So there's some customization going on with this screen, and that's the point of having all these here, so that way you can customize it the way you want it. Let's go ahead and reverse that. Now travel link, if you're not familiar with it, it's a really useful feature. It goes along with satellite radio. You can go into weather, you can get a weather map, you get movie listings, sports, all kinds of different things. But you can also, if you're away from home and you're trying to find the next gas station, it'll find the nearest gas station. You can sort it by brand, so if there's a particular brand you like, distance if you just need the closest one, or if you really want to get cheap, you can find the cheapest price. You can also change the fuel type, diesel, premium, mid-range, regular, and sort it that way. So that's pretty cool. I think that was a really useful feature, especially for travelers. Okay, so now remember that shortcut in the climate? This shortcut, it's going to take us to this. So right here is your heated seat for your driver and passenger. Now it's a 3-stage, high, medium, and low. Heated steering wheel, of course, on and off, on or off, that's it. You can look at the backup camera here. You can turn off your mirror dimmer. You can turn on or off that feature. And this is where you'll find your settings. So your settings, you can change the units to kilometers per hour or whatever. Adjust your clock, camera, change the lines on the camera, that kind of things. Your lights, how long they stay on after you turn off the vehicle. All kinds of different features here in the settings. There's just tons of them. So if you don't want it beeping when you turn on the remote start, that kind of thing, or when you lock the doors, you can go in there and adjust all that stuff. So let's go into the navigation. So it's actually enabling night mode right now. You notice the background is black. It's because the shade is covering up the light sensor, so it thinks it's nighttime. So, but anyways, you can put in a specific address. You can search addresses and all that. Let's just view the map right now. You can see we're in Whiteville, North Carolina. Let's zoom out. It changes the size of the text and what information is included depending on your resolution, how close you are. So here the United States is upside down and we're basically on the East Coast, but the way the vehicle is facing south, so that way you see the ocean on this side. Now let's go into here. Let's go into settings and let's go to map setup. And let's go to blue vehicle icon, because I don't like having a blue arrow when we can have a truck there. So we have trucks, we have that red arrow, blue arrow. But let's go ahead and choose the truck. So now when we go to the screen, there's a little truck there. That's pretty cool. Okay, so the last icon is your phone, and we don't have one paired, but once you pair your phone, you have access to your contacts, keypad, recent calls, your favorites, all that stuff. You can also switch it back to your phone if you want to have a private conversation, not have it blasting through the speakers. But all those features will be available once you pair your phone. So that's a quick rundown of that screen. And the clarity and the resolution of the screen is really good. You have to kind of see it in person, I suppose. Okay, so you have a volume knob, tune through the stations. You can always turn the screen off if you want it's distracting you or whatever. And then there's your 4-way flashers, mute the radio. There's your 3-stage heated seat, heated steering wheel, and then the passenger side heated seat as well. Driver and passenger temperatures, fan speed, where you want the air to blow, air conditioning, and automatic. You turn those on or off, and then your front and rear defrosters recirculate the air. A lot of redundancy as far as your climate controls down here as well, so that way you don't have to always go in the screen to make quick adjustments. Traction control is default on, but if you want to turn it off, you can push it like so. And then your tow and haul mode, you can enable that here if you're towing a trailer. So this one actually has a CD player, it also has, there's your inputs for your USB. On the bottom portion of the larger ports, that's a USB. It's a standard USB. It's actually called a USB-A. Okay, and the reason why I'm making that distinction, because the top one is a USB-C, which is fairly new in vehicles, so I want to make sure that you know the difference there. The USB-C in some devices can charge faster and, you know, transfer data faster, that kind of thing. So it has both ports and also auxiliary input there in the center portion. Place to put some pins or something right in here, which is nice, or to run the cables. So you can run the cables here on the side, because your cell phone can go right here. So you notice it has a little place for the wire to go out the bottom, run the cable across the side, either side, and to the port. And that way you don't have loose cables running around everywhere. And it keeps the cell phone firmly in place once you put it in that little holder. Now some of the new trucks, the Ram 1500s, have a wireless charger in this place, which is cool. Okay, so down here is a AC 115 volt 115 volt 400 watt AC power adapter. You also have a storage space back down here, and then you have this sliding tray which has cup holders and storage space here as well. Okay, so this is your armrest, and it is massive. It's plenty big enough to share with your passenger, and it has the contrast stitching. It's soft to the touch, very soft. Has a nice big Ram emblem in the center portion, looking nice, and it opens up in two positions. So the first top part has so you have two handles, top, upper, and lower. So upper gives you access to this upper portion. You have a USB charger here and storage space, places to put wires in and out of this compartment here, and has little keepers on either side, which is neat. Has a rubber tray so you can take it out and clean it, put it back in. Then this whole thing lifts up by using the lower lever, and it lifts all the way up, and it gives you some useful information on the underside, conversions and measurements and formulas and stuff. And more space under here, and you see this is where this tray goes when you pull it back, and this locks in place. So once you get it locked in place, it doesn't move. Pull it back, snap it there, solid. Pull it back, snap it there, solid. So you get the idea. It stays where you put it. It's not going to be flopping around on you. So down here is a storage space, and it has these little Easter eggs with trucks on it, and this is a little divider that flips up. So that way you can keep, this locks in place, so that way you can keep stuff back here from sliding forward, and separate your stuff if you like. Okay, so there's your rear view mirror. It's an automatic dimmer rear view mirror. Then you have a place to put your shades. It has a felt lining on the inside, even under here as well. This is for roadside assistance and emergencies. This is for your power rear glass, which I'll show you that in just a second. Then you have these tap lights, reading lights, little ambient light right in here. Let me see if I can turn the headlights on. At nighttime, I'll show you in a night video. Right now it's not doing anything, but it has a little ambient light that illuminates the center of the vehicle. You got to check out my night video because it's very dim in the daylight. You can't even see it, but it's a really neat feature. And then you can turn off all your interior lights, all of them on. There we go, it's turning on now. You see a little ambient light right there. Or turn them on with the door right there. So those are your features. Visors have mirrors and lights in them. Little clip to put some registration or whatever, piece of paper there. This slides out and has a metal bar. And you also have your HomeLink garage door opener controls on the other side. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back, and we'll start by looking at the power sliding glass. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and open it up, close it. Pretty quick. You notice I have one headrest down and one headrest up, so you can see the difference there as far as your visibility. Big windows back there to see. And of course you have the technology to help you out as well. All right, before you go, we got to look at the window sticker. Okay, so the way Ram does their window stickers, it starts off with a base price, basic information as far as the engine, colors, and all that stuff. Then it goes to standard equipment. You can use the pause button to read this stuff if you like in detail. Interior features, exterior features, and then optional equipment. And your optional equipment starts there. And it depends on the vehicle, but sometimes they'll start on the next row. But there's your optional equipment, and then it starts having prices. So your prices correspond, and everything between that price and the next price is included in this top price. All right, so there you have it. 2019 Ram 1500 Rebel. And thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina for allowing me to show off this awesome truck. And I'll see you guys next time.